This, boys and girls, is called a trading track record. And this also happens to be the very last thing that the smooth-talking bullshit artists calling themselves professional traders out there on social media want you to know about. And guess why? Because disclosing it will allow you to see at a glance the complete failure that they are at successfully implementing what they preach. And now you're telling yourself, well, gee, this guy that sounded so smart never spontaneously showed one or even mentioned it anywhere. What's up with that? Is he even actually trading, let alone successfully? Well, yeah, buddy, you got it. So today for our very first educational episode, and unlike any other trading channel anywhere on YouTube, we're gonna cut right through this crap once and for all. I'm gonna teach you in 11 minutes how to protect your interests first, and why a track record is the absolute best way not only to tell the value of a trading source, but also to turn you from the prey to the hunter in busting these trading scammers before they lure you in. So sit tight, grab a drink, and get ready to focus, because the information to follow was likely never presented to you. So why is a third-party, audited live track record so important? And why should you always demand one before trusting anyone in this industry? Well, if you're starting in this business looking for reliable information, or if you're a seasoned trader looking for genuine research material, chances are that you don't know who to trust or which source to turn to. And it is quite normal. There is a myriad of so-called mentors, courses, trading rooms, books, and trading systems out there. They all seem legit at face value, but who can you trust really? And how should you go about it? Knowing how to decipher the authentic traders from the entertainers, or worse, the fraudsters, is absolutely vital if you want to invest your time and money correctly and survive in this business. So let's look at why this is so important. That is where the third-party audited live track record comes into play. So let's define it first, going word by word. Third-party means that the data set presented to you has been authenticated by an independent party having no conflict of interest with the trader supplying that trading record. For that reason, you can be sure that the data has not been fabricated or falsified by the trader who intends to show proof of his ability to generate performance. Audited means that the dataset has been thoroughly analyzed and does not suffer from sampling bias or manipulation of any sort. The track record will allow you to see the entire depth of the statistical picture. It will disclose in full the actual risk and reward generated by the trader throughout his entire trading history. And live now means, one, that the trades included in the dataset were placed with real money in true market conditions. In other words, they are not a backtest nor a simulation. And second, that the system remains valid to this day and is still being actively traded. Therefore, live implies that this track record does not suffer from cherry picking, data snooping, or any backtrading of any sort. As you can see, a proper track record means business. More than any other piece of evidence, it is in and of itself the single tangible proof allowing you to fact-check the competence of a person, company, or service claiming to bring value to your trading. It is an objective assessment of value that punches through the smooth talking and marketing claims. It cuts the crap right at its roots and will shake out most of the fraudsters right off the bat. Remember, without a track record, what you're being fed is nothing more than promises and empty claims, and you as a trader will be relying on nothing more than your faith and willingness to believe, and that, guys, is not enough to commit your time and money to any endeavor. So to sum it up, even if it is not perfect, a third-party audited live track record is almost like an insurance against getting scammed. So now how does it work? Third-party audited live track records are the rarest thing to come by in the trading world. Just ask yourself, how many of these self-proclaimed traders making videos on YouTube actually provided you with a tangible proof that they are able to generate consistent profit from trading? The fact of the matter is, only the very few real profitable traders can provide one. Scammers, on the other hand, will do everything in their power to fake one and confuse you by supplying nothing but lousy substitutes for the real thing. So let's set the record straight and define what a track record definitely is not, and what you should run away from at all costs. A track record is not a screenshot of an app, for example, or a broker statement. It is not a self-made spreadsheet or a paper trail either. And it is not testimonials. Other people's word does not stand as proof. These substitutes do not bear any kind of legitimate value whatsoever. They are nothing more than shiny marketing gimmicks. Why? Because they do not allow you to authenticate anything. All that these substitutes are there for is to provide a partial and biased artifact to give you the illusion of performance and make you lose track of what truly matters, a third-party audited live track record. The truth is that this lack of transparency only betrays trading failure and disqualifies the authors as legitimate professionals. All that these tricks do is confuse you and leave you with more questions, not less. And here's how. Because you don't get to see the entire trading history, it will be impossible to quantify the long-term statistical trading edge. You will also be left wondering how much of what is shown to you has been cherry-picked to only display the winning side. The mass of subjects covered by a given course is only there to give you the impression of value through quantity, not quality. And the list of one-sided testimonials will also give you the illusion of trustworthiness. Realize that these are not proof, guys, but only promises created by that same provider of said courses and testimonials. Do you really want to trust someone who made the deliberate choice of playing both judge and party instead of providing you with the real thing? I'm asking you, what kind of value should you really expect from someone hiding their performance record? Let's call things by their real name here, guys. All that these claims really are is a bunch of deceiving lies, and you are the target. Now, what should you look for? We'll see what happens when you ask for a proper track record. If you're lucky enough not to get insulted, here are the typical excuses that you will get as an answer for your inquiry. And as you will see, it gets quite inventive. First, they will tell you, well, it's against the law or regulation. Well, that is simply not true. Nothing keeps you from showing your track record for as long as it is not a solicitation to trade other people's money. Second, they will tell you, well, our trading is proprietary and our track record remains private and confidential. Well, that is a poor excuse once again. A track record is not a requirement to show your personal information or even your account balance for that matter. Privacy is not a concern whatsoever. Third, well, we have an established reputation that relieves us from providing ourselves to you. Let me be very clear here. Nobody is exempt from backing up what they pretend to do. Proof of claims is the number one thing that you owe to your audience. Number 4, well, track records can be forged, so we gave up on building one altogether. Well, that is another terrible excuse. Of course, anything can be forged. Perfection of authenticity is not the question. The real question is, what is least likely to be fabricated? And the answer is a third-party audited track record. Anything less than that is a sorry cop-out move. Number 5. Well, track records are irrelevant in assessing a trader's performance. Well, anyone with the least notion of math in them will recognize that statement as being as boneheaded as it gets. Number 6. Access to our track record is restricted to our members. Well, let me get this straight here. If that's the case, then you can only test what a trading service is worth once you've submitted your credit card information? Well, that's brilliant. Number 7. Well, track records are not a good indication of how a member will perform in copying us. Now think about it. If the so-called techniques that you learn are not replicable for your own benefit, then what's in it for you? Where's the value proposition? What are you actually paying for? Number 8. Well, we do provide trading signals, you just have to search their history for yourself. This is one of the sneakiest ways to confuse you, basically telling you that if you cannot find how effective the signals are, then it is your fault. That is a typical way of flipping the burden of proof on its head. Number 9. Well, asking for a track record shows that you're not ready to trade and are wasting our time. Well, yet again, guys, classic way of belittling whoever dares to do their own due diligence. And number 10. Well, my broker is not compatible with any third-party auditing procedure or program. Let me tell you, we no longer live in the early 2000s. Nowadays, most brokers trading stations are compatible with just about every single third-party auditors. And if a trader really does have an incompatible broker, then it is his duty to mirror this account with a smaller account to build a track record that is readily available. As you can see, these excuses are rivaling one another to do just one thing: gaslight you into thinking that a track record is not necessary, is irrelevant, or that you are the problem for even asking for one. The goal here is obvious: hide the fact that the trader behind the scheme is in fact totally incompetent. Now let's take a look at what you should look for. Well, here the answer is not nearly as diverse and convoluted, and truth is always straightforward. What the trader should provide you with is a simple, no login needed link to a publicly available track record audited by a third-party service. There are many free websites that do just that, and they are compatible with all top brokers. For example, MyFXBook, FXBlue, FXStats do just this for MT4 based trading platforms. That comprises almost all Forex and CFD brokerages. Collective 2, on the other hand, does the same thing with equity and futures trading. It does not even need to link to a real brokerage account. The trader can simply post trades using their interface. Likewise, Fundseeder allows for a trader to link both his MT4 or brokerage account. So as you can see, all that you should have to do is click a single link to access a trader's track record. Anything more complicated is a slow pick-up explanation that should have you run as fast as you can. Now I'm asking you to think about it again. Out of all the services that you looked into recently and that looked so great at first sight, which one did supply you with direct links, no pre-screening access to their track record? Which one did not try to push one of the previously mentioned substitutes on you? And ultimately, which one did in the end actually allow you to check the authenticity of their claims? I'm willing to bet that just about none did. So the lesson is the following, guys. Challenge them. Extraordinary claims command extraordinary proofs. Just be as excruciatingly unforgiving in your due diligence as they are outlandish with their claims. A third-party audited live track record is the only thing that you need to probe their authenticity as well as to quantify such essential statistics as average gain, winning percentage, profit factor, MOR ratio, etc. Without one, you are kept in the dark. And if you've followed me for a while, I think you know by now that I hold these principles of transparency as high as I can. In fact, FX Physics does not offer one, but 4 of these third-party audited live track records, and I urge you not to settle for anything less. So that will do it for our first trading education episode. If you got anything from this course, please give me a boost by liking this video and definitely consider subscribing to receive continued value from my channel. My goal is to empower your trading with disruptive, professional knowledge, and I need your support. So thank you for your attention, and I'll talk to you soon. Trade smart.